Okay, back to basics learning. All right, today we're going to do the third type of factoring. Of course, there's more to this topic, but it's going to take a little time to get all these videos done. The product of two binomials. And the product of two binomials is very important because it has to do with factoring. And let's see how this works. So we have a squared plus 3a plus 2. This is a trinomial. This is a trinomial. And we have to break it down. We have to break it up. Now, how do we break this up? Well, we have to say to ourselves, what are the factors of 2 that if I add or subtract them equal 3? I'll say it again. We always say this to ourselves when we do this kind of factoring. We say, what are the factors of 2? Now, factors are numbers you multiply to get a number. Like 3 times 1 are factors of 3. 3 times 2 are factors of 6. 3 times 4 are factors of 12, right? Okay. So what 2 factors do I multiply to get 2 that if I add or subtract those, I get a 3? Well, that's what I have to say to myself. And then I make 2 binomials. And I go A. I break up the A. Split it in half. That's it. Now, the only factors of 2, because it's a prime number, and a prime number is a number that only has 1 and itself as factors, okay, are 2 and 1. That's it. And they're both positive, so you just add, you just put positive. Easy. Easy. Yeah, I'm going to have to make a couple of videos of this type of factoring because this is complicated. Well, it gets complicated. We'll start out with the easy stuff. Okay. M squared plus 5m plus 4. Okay. I know I'm going to get 2 binomials. What are the factors of 4 that if you add or subtract will give you a 5? Well, there's only one factor pair for 4, and it's 4 times 1. I put my m in my m plus. Because you see, 4 times 1 is 4, and then 4 plus 1 is 5. So that's it. We got it. Now, x squared plus 10x plus 25. Here's another one. X squared plus 10x plus 25. What are the factors of 25 that if I add or subtract those factors, I'll get 10? Oh, that's easy. 5 and 5. 5 times 5 is 25. 5 plus 5 is 10. That's it. Now, it's been easy because it's plus. It's addition. So these are easy ones. Let me get to a harder one, right? Here's one. This is a classic one. All right. Now we have subtraction and addition, so it's a little different. What are the factors of 6 that if I add or subtract will give me 5? Now, let me write the factors of 6 over here. What numbers can I multiply to get to 6? Well, 6 times 1, right? 3 times 2. Those are the factors. And we have to decide which one of those, if we added them or subtracted them, would give us 5. 6 plus 1 is 7. And that wouldn't work. But if I subtracted 6 minus 1, I would get 5. It's true. That's true. And 3 plus 2, if I added, would give me 5. And if I subtracted, I get a 1. So actually, I can use either one. Now, what determines which pair is correct? Well, it's the subtraction and the addition symbols, right? So let's look at this. Let's play around with it. So I don't even know yet. I'm going to pretend. Let's just try 3 and 2. I don't know. I could be wrong. Now, this is a positive 6 over here. So this means that when I multiply 3 times 2, I get a positive 6. Therefore, they must be the same sign. Because when you multiply 2 negatives, you get a positive. When you multiply 2 positives, you get a positive. So they both have to be the same sign. Now, I might say, well, they both can be positive. Well, they could. They could. But then and when I multiplied them, I get a positive 6. But if I added them, I sure as heck wouldn't get a negative 5. I would get a positive 5. So that can't be it. They have to be negative. Because a negative 3 times a negative 2 is a positive 6. And a negative 3 plus a negative 2 is a negative 5. So that's it, actually. That's the right answer. Let's look at the wrong answer for a minute. Let's look at the wrong answer. All right, let's hang out a second. Let's look at that. So what if I put a 6 and a 1 in there? And I said, well, 6 times 1 is 6. Yeah, true. And if I put a plus and a plus, that would work. But then if I were to add 6 and 1, I would get 7, not 5. All right, well, hey, what if I switch the signs? All right. I'd get a negative 7. Wrong. Wrong. So my answer is negative 3 and negative 2. All right? Does that make sense to you? I hope it does. I'm hoping it does. Let's do some more. And if these videos aren't helpful, then I'm just going to stop making them. That's it. I'll be done. Why should I do it if no one's watching it and it's not helpful? But we'll try. We'll see what happens. Now, what are the factors of 36 that if I add or subtract will give me a 9? Well, let's look at the factors of 36. 36 times 1. 9 times 4. Right? 9, 18, 20. Yes. 6 times 6. 12 times 3. Yep. So those are the factors of 36 that I can think of offhand. Now the question is, which factor pair, if I add or subtract, will give me a 9? Oh, I think I see it. 12 times 3. Because 12 and 3 is 15, but I subtract 12 from 3 from 12, I get a 9. I think that's it. Yes, I do. Let's see if I'm right. Now, I got a negative here. So that tells me what this means when I multiply them. When I multiply 12 and 3, I got a negative 36, which means they have to be different signs. And when I subtracted 12 take away 3, I got a positive 9. And of course, whenever we subtract with integers, we subtract and take the sign of the higher number. So the higher number is positive, so then 12 has to be positive, and that has to be negative. And that's correct. That should be correct. Yeah, because 12 times negative 3, negative 36, and 12 is 9. Well, when I do foiling, it'll come together a little better, in case you're having trouble with foiling. Maybe you watch that video first, once I get it up. I didn't do it yet, but I will. Let's see. Here's an easy one. Okay, well look, let's be honest, we both know there's only one factor pair for 13, it's 13 and 1, so we know that. So now we just have to worry about the signs. Well, we got a negative 13 when we multiply, which tells me that they're different signs when you multiply. And when I subtracted them, because how did I get a 12? Well, I had to go 13 minus 1 to get a 12. And when I subtracted, the higher number had to be negative, because that's how come I got a 12. So 13 has to be 12, and that has to be 1. I hope you're following my pattern of thought here. Let's do another one here. Stop the video, you can stop the video and see if, you can do this. Okay. What are the factors of 64 that if I add or subtract will give me 16? 64, let's see. 64 times 1. 8 times 8. Ooh, that's probably it. What else goes into 64? 2, 4, 6, 32, right? Yeah, 32 times 2. There's more for sure. Wait, 64 divided by 4. 16. Right, 16 times 4. I'm just tired. 16 times 4. So those are all factors of 64. That's the easy way to do it if you can't think of it in your head. Because, you know, we all get tired. We have bad days. Just write it out. And then we decide. So I'm going to go with 8 and 8. I'm going to go with 8 and 8. Because 8 and 8 is 16. Now, when I multiply them, they both had to be the same symbol, the same sign. How do I know? Because I had a positive 64. And when I added them, I got a negative 16, which means they both had to be negative if I added them. So that's the answer. Negative 8, negative 8. Let's do another one here. Okay. What are the factors of 48? I'm sorry about this bouncing board, but this is the best I could do right now. What are the factors of 48 that if I add or subtract will give me a 13? Well, 48 times 1. And then if I divide 48 in half, I get 24 times 2. What else? What else goes into 48? Let's look. 48. Shit, where's my calculator? Until I'm tired here. That's what I thought. Okay, 16 times 3. I just wanted to double check. 16 times 3. What else? 48 by 2. 48 by 4 is, of course, 12. 48 times 12. That's another one. All right. I think that's enough. So I'm going to go with 16 times 3. Yeah, because 16 minus 3 is 13. Yep, that's what I'm thinking. Let's see if I'm correct. Now when I multiplied them, I got a negative 48, which means their numbers are different. Their numbers were different. And when I subtracted them, I got a negative. So that means the higher number has to be negative. So that's it. Right? You know what? Let me just, I'm going to end this video in a minute, but let me just do this. How about I just foil this, right? Let me foil this. Wait, how can I do this for you? Yeah, let's leave it like this. Let's just foil this and see if I get back to here, right? Watch. So when we foil, basically we take the x, distribute it, take the 16, distribute it, negative 16 and distribute it. So I'm going to do the x first. X times x is x squared. Then I do x times 3 is 3x. And then I do negative 16 times x, negative 16x. And negative 16 times 3 is negative 48. And then I combine like terms, which are the 2 in the middle. And I get x squared minus 13x minus 48. And that is identical. That's how I know I did it correctly. Okay? So, you can watch this video again. You can stop the video in between and, you know, try to do these things on your own, and then try to do the problem on your own and see if you get it right. Okay? Good luck. I'll see you next time.